There's a common assumption that your 401k will just take care of itself once you retire. You've been contributing for decades, the account has grown, so now it's just a matter of flipping the switch, right? But here's the truth. The decisions you make in the final years before retirement can have a much bigger impact than you think. Because timing isn't just about when you stop working, it's about how and when you start using that 401k. And if you miss the window to plan properly, you may end up with higher taxes, lower flexibility, and fewer income options than you expected. Let's walk through exactly what you do with your 401k in the years leading up to retirement so you can avoid the missteps that catch far too many people off guard. Hi, I'm Josh Bliss, founder of Gateway Capital Management, now proudly under Balboa Wealth Partners. If you're within 5 years of retirement, this is one video you don't want to miss. We're going to cover the key things you should be doing with your 401k before you retire, including tax strategies, withdrawal timing, and rollover considerations. And if you'd like to get a personalized guidance on your own retirement plan, click the link in the description below to book a time with me. If you find this helpful, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share it with someone else who's thinking about retirement. Now let's get into it. 1. Know your 401k withdrawal options. Before you retire, one of the first things you should do is get clarity on how you'll be able to access your money. Most people assume the 401k will give them full flexibility in retirement, but every plan is different, and some may be surprisingly restricted. For example, some 401ks only allow lump sum withdrawals, meaning you have to take out everything at once. Others may allow systematic payments, but only on a quarterly or annual basis, not monthly. Some may not offer any withdrawal options after retirement, forcing you to roll the account into an IRA. That may sound straightforward, but the implications can be huge. Let's say you're retiring at 65 and planning to draw monthly income. If your 401k plan doesn't support monthly withdrawals, you could be stuck without a smooth way to replace your paycheck. Of course, if the plan only allows a full lump sum withdrawal, you could accidentally trigger a massive tax bill in 1 year. So here's the action step. Call your HR department or plan administrator and ask, what options will I have for withdrawals after I separate from service? Can I take partial distributions on a flexible schedule? Are there fees or limitations tied to withdrawals? Once you understand the rules of your specific plan, you can start to map out the next step, whether that's keeping the money in the plan, rolling it over, or coordinating it with your other income sources. 2. Understand the rule of 55 and don't lose it by accident. This is a lesser known provision in the tax code, but it can be a powerful planning tool if you retire before 59 and a half. The rule of 55 says that if you leave your job in the year you turn 55 or older, you can withdraw from your current 401k without paying the 10% early withdrawal penalty. So if you retire at 56, 58, or even just after your 55th birthday, and you need to start pulling income from your 401k, you can do so penalty-free. But here's where many people go wrong. If you roll that 401k into an IRA too soon, you lose that benefit. IRAs still follow the traditional 59 and a half age rule. So if you move your funds out of the 401k, you may lock yourself out of penalty-free access. Let's take an example. Linda's 57 and ready to retire. She has $900,000 in her 401k and wants to tap it for income. If she leaves the account in her employer's plan, she can use the rule of 55 and access it right away without penalty. But if she rolls the money into an IRA because she assumes it's just what you're supposed to do, she can't touch those funds for 2.5 more years without incurring the 10% penalty, unless she does other complex exceptions like substantially equal periodic payments, also known as SEPPs. So if you're retiring between ages 55 and 59 and a half, the rule 55 gives you a unique window. Talk to an advisor before doing anything with your rollover, because once you move the money, the opportunity is gone. 3. Review and rebalance your investment allocation. The closer you get to retirement, the more important your investment mix becomes, because it's just not about growing your money anymore. It's about protecting it and positioning it for income. Think of it this way. You've been climbing the mountain your whole career. That's the accumulation phase. But now you're getting ready for the descent, and the risks are different. You want to ask yourself, is my 401k still heavily invested in equities that could drop sharply right before I retire? Do I have enough conservative or stable assets to provide income for the first 3 to 5 years of retirement? Have I created a retirement paycheck structure that matches my spending needs? A real-world example. Greg, 64 and retiring next year. His 401k is still 80% in stock funds, and markets have been volatile. If there's a correction next year and his portfolio drops 20%, that loss, combined with his first-year withdrawals, could create a lasting dent in his retirement assets. This is known as sequence of returns risk. Early losses combined with the withdrawals can be difficult to recover from, especially when you're no longer contributing. The solution? Rebalance your portfolio before retirement. That doesn't mean going 100% conservative, but it does mean allocating based on when you'll need the money. Many retirees use a bucket strategy. Bucket 1, cash and short-term bonds to cover 1 to 3 years of spending. Bucket Bucket 2, moderate investments for income in years 4 through 10. Bucket 3, long-term growth for expenses 10 plus years out. This way, even if markets fluctuate, your near-term income is protected. 4, consider Roth conversions before RMDs begin. Here's another opportunity that many high-income pre-retirees overlook. If your 401k is mostly traditional, pre-tax, then every dollar withdrawal in retirement will be fully taxable as ordinary income. And once you hit age 73, the IRS forces you to start taking required minimum distributions, or RMDs, whether you need the income or not. This can create higher tax brackets, Social Security taxation, Medicare premium surcharges, and less flexibility to manage your income. That's why many retirees use the Roth conversion window, the years between retirement and age 73, to move money strategically into a Roth IRA. Here's what that could look like. You retire at 65 with no more salary. You delay Social Security to age 70. You have a few low-income years where you can convert $30,000 to $50,000 from your traditional 401k to a Roth IRA at a lower marginal rate. That money then grows tax-free, and Roth IRAs don't have RMDs. But again, timing is key. If you convert too much in 1 year, you could trigger higher Medicare premiums, IRMAA, or move into a higher tax bracket. And if your 401k offers a Roth 401k option, you may want to shift your final contributions there, especially if you're not getting a significant tax deduction anymore. Bottom line, Roth conversions aren't right for everyone, but if done strategically, they can strategically reduce your lifetime tax bill. 5, build a withdrawal strategy, not just an account balance. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that once they hit retirement, they'll just pull from their 401k as needed. But in reality, your withdrawal strategy is what determines how long your money lasts, how much you pay in taxes, and how stable your income feels from month to month. Ask yourself, where will your income come from in the first 5 years of retirement? Are you planning to withdraw monthly or annually? Which accounts will you tap first? Taxable, traditional, or Roth? A smart strategy might look like this. Use taxable accounts and/or 401k withdrawals to bridge the gap from 65 to 70. Delay Social Security to increase your benefit. Convert portions of your 401k to a Roth before RMDs begin. Then coordinate future withdrawals to stay under key tax thresholds. Remember, it's not about maximizing one account in isolation. It's about coordinating across all your accounts: 401ks, IRAs, Roth IRAs, HSA accounts, taxable accounts, to produce the most efficient, predictable income possible. And this is where working with a fiduciary advisor who specializes in retirement planning can really add value. Because without a strategy, you're simply guessing. With a strategy, you're in control. Let's take a step back and recap what we've covered. Your 401k is one of the most powerful retirement saving tools available. But once you're within 5 to 10 years of retirement, it's not just about growing the balances anymore. It's about how you transition that account into a reliable, tax-efficient income stream. Here's what we walked through. Number 1, not all 401k plans are created equal. You need to understand your specific withdrawal options before you retire so there are no surprises. 2, the rule of 55 could allow penalty-free withdrawals if you retire early, but only if you don't roll over your 401k too soon. 3, your investment mix matters. As you shift from growth to income, your allocation needs to reflect your spending timeline, not just your risk tolerance. 4, Roth conversions can be a powerful tool, but only when they're timed correctly with your tax situation. 5, and finally, you need a withdrawal plan that coordinates your tax brackets, account types, and income needs, not just in 1 year, but over the next 20 to 30 years. Here's the bottom line. Timing is everything, and the 3 to 5 years before retirement are your best window to take control, build flexibility, and avoid the tax traps that often catch people off guard after they stop working. If you're approaching retirement and you want to make sure your 401k is working for you and not against you, let's talk. Book a free consultation with me using the link in the description below, and I'll walk you through your options step by step. We'll look how your 401k fits into your broader retirement strategy, how to minimize taxes, generate steady income, and avoid costly mistakes. Because retirement doesn't require guesswork, it requires a plan. Thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. I'll see you in the next one.